present day. Honore tilde copyright. It was Gavin Davey who had been on guard, one of the officers that the Commissioner had brought with him when he had intercepted Noel Svensson. Fidel and Dwayne had been finishing up the processing when Fidel lifted up his head and raised a finger of warning. Dwayne looked at his friend. "What is it?" Fidel scraped back his chair. "I'm just going to get," he began. His first attempt at subterfuge. But the situation was beyond that. A wide-open cell and a missing police officer. "Call the Commissioner," Fidel told Dwayne. But Officer Myers disobeyed his friend, and dashed to the back station door. "Not there, no one." "We'll do a search," Fidel told him, but he stopped when he saw Dwayne's face. "There'll be only one place they're going now," Fidel told him. "Secure station. We need to get to the harbor." 88,888,888. "Come on, get up." A pistol butt in the chest, and Dinah 7 was on her feet. Dawn was breaking, a weak, lemon shade that suggested the day would be unsettled. "Wake up now, a broken bar are better." So it was time, probably. They were no longer in Antigua. A church, its red roof visible in the mist, told her they were in St. Marie. Guadalupe must have happened overnight. She wasn't ready. Not that it could be helped now, she had had long enough to prepare, had been aware of what Dr. Gold and Noel Svensson had been doing. She could have reported it at any time. But she couldn't. It was the thing beyond the thing, and that thing was very deep, very widespread. She blinked into the sunshine, and there he was, the boss, waiting for her. Dinah had never met Frank Potter before, though had heard his name many times. He was supposed to be retiring back to the Highlands. On the face of it, he was a little lost. "Well, there you are." Beside Frank Potter, the man Dinah had first known as Thomas Lewis, but later, as an anecdote, Harris Kerr had left with Frank Potter, and left the Antigua staff thinking in the ground. An explanation now presented itself. 88,888,888. From the boat, about a mile away and obscured by reeds, Camille Bordy looked across to the Commissioner, who had lowered his binoculars. "What?" Camille hissed. The Commissioner turned to her, slowly. Can you tell me what's happening?" "Sir, I see our target, a broken bar." He moved his head. "I see our informant." The Commissioner moved his binoculars around, and then stopped. "Yes, sir." "Look at who's turned up." He passed Camille the binoculars. She took them, and strained them on the ship, taking a good look at the faces of the people aboard. "Charlotte, a broken bar," Camille observed. "And a broken bar too. People I don't know, a broken bar." She looked again, then let out a scream of astonishment. "Noel Svensson." She lowered the binoculars, and looked at the Commissioner. Then narrowed her eyes. "You knew he was going to be here, didn't you? You let him here. We were going to find the boat. And we now know for sure that the majority of the guards on Guadalupe are being bought off to stay silent." Commissioner Patterson reached down towards Camille. She got the hint and placed the binoculars in his hand. "And Sergeant Bestand and Officer Myers will be here shortly about their on-the-run prisoner." Patterson glanced towards the road, where the Royal Enfield and sidecar had just sped along. "He escaped. The guard must have let him out," Dwayne told the Commissioner as they hurried towards the boat. The Commissioner raised a hand. "Things have moved on. A broken bar sergeant, a broken bar constable." He looked to Camille and then handed her back the binoculars. "I would say a broken bar right about now." She took the binoculars, and watched as the man she was caring for very deeply stood between Charlotte and the man holding the pistol. 88,888,888. She was innocent, of that Richard Poole was sure. He knew that if he turned to look at her, his heart would melt and his resolve would shatter. Look at Harris Kerr, for it was that bastard who had got them all into this. So, here he was, Frank Potter. Only, that was not his real name. And a broken bar. A broken bar. Richard Poole felt his jaw fall open. Kerr was shaking hands with the man. Kerr. After all this time? After everything? Bent MI6? 88,888,888. He's shaking hands with the older man, Camille commentated. Good, a broken bar. Good. nodded the commissioner. Dwayne and Fidel exchanged looks. They were still trying to catch up with the fact that the commissioner was apparently fine with the idea that the prisoner in their care had escaped. "Oh, a brief explanation," he told them. DCI Harris Kerr working with us through the International Crime Agency. He has been studying Richard Poole's movements. Now we intervene? Camille asked the commissioner. Selwyn Patterson shook his head. So broken by his wife hates him enough to stalk him and set him up with someone who wants revenge for putting him away for a long time. It wasn't a question. All eyes fell on Fidel. Wife? Camille asked sharply. But there was no time to explain. A gun fires as there were shouts aboard the ship. No, Charlotte Brooke screamed again, and Camille could see a fight going on. Kerr had hit Charlotte, and she was backing away from him. And then Richard Poole swung back his arm and laid a hefty blow to Kerr's face. No, echoed Camille, eyes on the scene. Charlotte Brooke was climbing onto the taffrail, and stood tall, upright. Now we intervene. A broken bar, the detonation codes. Came a yell. The commissioner nodded to Dwayne to start the motorboat. Stevenson. He's escaping. Fidel pointed to a boat, which had been tied to the larger boat, now carrying the faux policeman. A shot came just as she dived into the sea, which caused Charlotte's diving position, tall and upright, to crumple in the middle. Her body fell heavily into the water. Diana and Camille watched as Richard Poole dived in after her. 88,888,888. 1 month before, Antigua. I won't betray him, Tarmas. Charlotte stood, arms folded, in her Antigua home. I have done everything you asked for. Everything. To protect him. Not to betray him. And when he comes aboard the snuggling boat, you will. Tarmas Lewis told her. Because it's not over till it's over. Not this. Charlotte pushed away the photographs of the boss of the operation. What's in my head will be told to the right authority, or will go with me to the grave. She took a step towards the man who was once Harris Kerr. Even if they think you are a traitor. Charlotte closed her eyes, then opened them slowly, and took offensive. Ben Gordon will never have the codes.